Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of Calm Knitting Vlog. My name is Marlena. You might know me from Calm Crafts fan page. I am happy that I finally decided to record in English in hope that I would share my passion and I would share my knowledge to a broader how do you say in English? Amount of people, let's say it. I was a bit stressed to make this decision, I must admit. It wasn't an easy decision, but I did it. So hopefully you're gonna be gentle in your opinions on the first episode. But I also hope that you will find something for yourself. I'm a knitter and a crocheter, and also I call myself a knitting nerd. It always fascinates me what's on the other side of on the wrong side of the work of the project. I always look at floats. I always looked how the ends were weaved in, all that stuff. That's my kind of game. And just to be, less stressed, I've brought something with me. It's a shawl, a triangle shawl that I'm making for my younger son. I had this like a little cake that 800 meters only, so not much. So I had this cake for like a long time, and I thought that maybe it's a good idea to finally make something with it. It's a part of my New Year's resolutions. I decided that I really want all my projects this year to come from yarn that is, from my stash. I know it's not possible. I know I will make some adjustments to this resolution, and some of my projects will be made from yarn that was bought this year, or at least I'll buy something that I'll use on my further resolutions. But still, it's April and I haven't bought much, like maybe 2-3 skeins of yarn, and I'm really proud of myself. That's a lot less than I used to. So the first project that I want to share with you is a triangle shawl that I'm making, and I'm going to be making with you actually. It's a shawl made out of cotton kings. Can you see it? Hopefully you can. So it's cotton kings. It's 100% cotton, 4 strands of yarn, 800 meters in 200 grams. It was a wild amount of colors, and it was a very colorful cake. Therefore, I decided that it's gonna be a nice present for my sons. I've got 2 sons. One is 4 years old, and the second one is 1.5 years old. They don't often get anything from me, especially that I'm also a pattern tester, and oftentimes all that I test are like women's clothes. So that's not something I can give them. But out of this cake, I've already managed to make a triangle shawl for my older one. I love those colors. Look, it's so bright and happy. Moss stitch triangle shawl. It's extremely easy. It's just single crochets and chain stitches. So it's extremely easy, and it's very how do you call it? Relaxing. It's one of the projects that I really like to do sitting in front of TV or listening to audiobooks when I want to concentrate on what I'm looking at or what I'm listening to, and not on the project I'm doing. And it was a pleasure to make the shawl, and also my son really likes it. He received it for his birthday at the end of March, and I think it's a really nice present for him, and he's happy with it, and it really shows the way he is, like energetic and full of hope and very like always happy and always ready to do things. So I think it's really these are really his colors. But I've used actually 3 full colors out of the cake, and then only 3, and the half of the last color, the green one. Yeah, but it was already quite big when I've used those 3.5 colors. So I decided that enough is enough for him. He's only 4, but you know the rest was left, and I'm like, okay, I don't have one son, I've got 2 sons, so it's got to be always equal. So I decided to make him also a triangle shawl from the second part of the cake. So it's gonna be green, blue and purple. And because there was only 2.5 colors, I thought that maybe it's better to actually make it as a knitted shawl, because you know knitted shawls, generally knitting takes less of yarn than crocheting. So maybe I'll match the how do you say it, the size of the crocheted one. So that's what I start. And actually, yeah, that's quite possible. And what I'm doing, I have no idea what I am doing here. It's an experiment. It's totally an experiment, and actually I'm treating it as a present for my son. And in color-wise, it's very my son-ish, because it's, you know, calm blue and green and like calm, steady, like a flowing water. Yeah, that's how I picture my younger son. He's always happy, he's always laughing, he's running, but comparing to the older one, he's not that fiery, you know. Yeah, he's possibly gonna be the calmest. Definitely calmer than I am. But never mind. Yeah, so as said, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I decided to start with an I-cord, and actually I got inspired by 2 projects. One is PetiteKnits Sophie Shawl, because I really like those I-cord edges, and then there's a similar project made by Dagna Zielinska, her Easy Shawl. I am putting all the links in the description, so you will be able to track down those projects. And I really thought, yeah, the I-cord edge, that's a really nice thing, so I'm totally going with it. But then Dagna's shawl is the increases are only on one side, so it's gonna be like, you know, it's not gonna be this kind of triangle. So this is, I have no idea what's the English name for it, but the arms are the same on both sides, but her shawl is like this, right? That it's like going, it's only increasing on one side. And I thought that I don't really like that. Like, I mean, it's nice, but it's not, I can't imagine having like a really long shawl and then putting all around the head of my younger ones. So I thought that it's the best from like, how do you say it, from logistics perspective, it's better for them to have a standard triangle shawl. Therefore, I just took the idea of I-cord and then I'm increasing on both sides. That's why you have it, you know, it's a standard triangle shawl. Also, I'm making those yarn overs here, so the increases are yarn over increases. I like that there's a little bit of holes here, and also after like that much I got bored because it was only a garter stitch and I got so bored. And I said, okay, clearly I am clearly not able to make it, you know, like a full garter stitch shawl. It's gonna be, I'm gonna die in the process. So no. So after a while, I decided to make those little. That's not squares, are those? Yeah. I introduced seed stitch and a little bit of a row of yarn overs here and then seed stitch, and I went back to garter stitch now, and that's a blessing because I can do it now while talking with you, right? I can knit that, and that will probably help with my nervousness I have right now while talking to you. The first trial is always a hard one, right? So this might help me to calm a bit, as well. It's a calm knitting vlog, right? Knitting helps me to be a bit quieter, to find solitude and find a bit of quiet in this world. So I must admit that I love socks. Like, socks are my favorite kind of knitted project. Why do I like knitting socks? Apart that it's, you know, the best thing I have, and I wear a lot of women's socks. It's also a really short project, right? It takes like 8 to 10 days for me, and I'm talking about color work socks. So it's a short project, it's quick, and also it's very portable, which is important for me because most of my knits are made in the bus. Every day when I go to work to the office, because I work in a hybrid model, I can take my knit with me and not worry that it takes a lot of place, or that it's heavy, or that I need a lot of balls of yarn. Therefore, socks are my favorites. And since I went back to work in January because I was on maternity leave earlier, I've already knitted like 2 or 3 pairs of socks. So I love it, I really enjoy it. And the ones that I have for you today are socks by Home of Cords. Home of Cords is a Polish designer. Her name is Agnieszka, and she is designing both in Polish and in English. So that's why I'm showing it to you, because easily you will be able to, you know, to use this pattern and to try it yourself. And it's amazing. It's really amazing. So this is the finished sock. This is how it looks like. There's still a strand I need to weave in, and actually need to reknit the toes, but because I've made a lousy work there, so that's why it's still, you know, it's still here, because I need to undo the Kitchener stitch, because the socks are made from cuff down. I need to undo the Kitchener stitch and do it once again, because this is the worst Kitchener stitch I've ever done in my life. Look at this. Can you see it? Look at this. Can you see those holes? It's like, how did it happen? I was, you know, doing it normally, like really nothing weird, nothing strange. I was doing it, and then I finished, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the hell? What the hell has happened here? Look at this. And actually, the pattern is called Hypnotize Me socks, and I call it Comedy of Errors socks, which I stole from Fruity Knitting vlog. I've watched it while I was doing it, and they were talking about a comedy of errors on one of their projects, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what I have in here. I've reknitted this sock around 4 times, I think. Like, I've made it once, and I used the other way around regarding the colors, and then like I've knitted a bit. I've made a huge mistake. Oh yeah, I started with at that stage, every size had its own chart. It was 8. It's always 8 stitches, 8 rows, but they were starting in different places, and also they were finishing like on the what's that? On the heel level, they were starting on a different row, and I started with one size and finished with the other, so it was rubbish. It didn't make any sense. So I had to frog it and start once again. And also it was really stiff here because I knitted it on the PNs, and that's when I realized that I have like a really tight gauge on the PNs. So it was obvious I had to reknit it. And then I did it once again, and what I made incorrectly after like 8th row at like, it was like third repetition, I think. After 4th row, I started to make row number 1 once again, and I messed up the chart completely. And then when I decided to frog it and then pick up the stitches, and I lost a couple, and I couldn't like get a hang of it, what was happening, so I had to frog it once again. And then I decided they're actually really tight, so I would be happy to change the size, and that was a very good decision. But also it helped Agnieszka because at that stage she decided to change the chart a little bit on how it's created, because when you see the gusset here, look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. So first the gusset chart and the normal chart, they were separate and they were in different places. So when you were trying to go in the round, you had to check 2 different rows, which was very uncomfortable, and I got lost like 2 or 3 times, so that got me angry. And one of the guests suggested it, and I totally backed it up. And Agnieszka listened to us, and she decided to change it. And now the charts are like, you have a standard chart, and then there's a gusset chart, and the standard chart is long enough to go with the gusset, so you just need one line. So like when you're using Knit Companion or Pocket Knitting on whatever app you have, or if you're printing if you're printing your patterns and then you use your ruler, it's easy to follow the pattern. So that's awesome. So then I started to do it that way, and then I decided that maybe I'll use different colors. I mean, the same yarn, I'll show it to you in a minute, but I'll change the colors, change the main color with a contrast color. So I did. But then I knitted until here, and in the first version of the pattern, before Agnieszka changed the way the charts were set up, and with the size that I was knitting, then I was supposed to finish at row, I don't know, 3 or 5, something like this. And so I did, while I was knitting the bigger size. Whilst I should have been knitting until row 8 and then finish and start the heel and so on and so forth. Of course, I realized it once the heel was done, so I have to frog it once again. So that's third frogging, 4th frogging. I had to frog it. I wanted to have 3 rows of the pattern and then start the heel. That's what I did, but then I had to frog. And because I was already on row like 3 or 4 of the 4th repetition, I decided not to frog because I was terrified that I would make the same mistake I did previously. So I knitted until the end of the repetition. So finally I have 4 instead of 3. Yeah, and then I did the heel and the gusset, and then I screwed up the toe. So it's like, and also like I've added a new yarn here, and it's extremely visible. Not sure if you can see it here. It's really visible, and I hate it. So I will definitely frog this toe and make it once again. I just don't want to do it now because I haven't finished the second sock on here. Plus, of this sock is that I don't think I've made any errors, and it went really, really smoothly. That's a thing that I'm really happy about, because it was, oh gosh. Yeah. The only thing that I don't like is that, look at the cuffs, like how different they are. This one is less stretchy. I mean, it's less, not stretchy, because it is stretchy, but it's, how do you say it in English? I don't know, you can see what I mean. This one is wider and this one is like, this one is more bouncy. Hopefully it's gonna be better, actually. I need to test a bit on cuffs, on ribbings, because this is pure magic for me to make a good ribbing. So I definitely want to check that. Yeah, I do all my jacquard socks on a short circ, 9-inch short circ, and I am using Adi Sock Wonder lace, which I really totally recommend. These are really nice needles. The best from, let's call it the cheaper ones, because Chowgus are my go-to for everything, but Chowgu, I don't have 2.5mm Chowgu, and this is 2.5mm, and also Chowgus are short on both sides, and this one has the right needle longer, which is very beneficial in my opinion. But yeah, 2.5mm, 225 for the cuff, the heel and the toe, which is gonna be somewhere here. And I also wanted to show you the yarn, which is pretty nice. This is Drops Fable, so it's 25% polyamide and 75%, I don't know, is that wool or alpaca? I'll check it and definitely show it here. It's not the first time I've used it, and I really like it, although in my opinion it's the pilling it's quite big. I've used better yarns, but for example Drops Nord, it's the same company but it's less pilling. So, but I like it, and I really like this color. Yeah, here. Okay, never know. And the other one that I have is, it's a hand-dyed yarn from Zapach Trzcin. So it's a Wrocław-based dye, which I like even more because I'm from Wrocław. I mean, I live in Wrocław. I'm not from Wrocław. And I really enjoy. I'm really happy when I can help and support a local companies. So this is a very pretty hand-dyed yarn. It's 75% merino and 25% polyamide as well. Is it nice? No, it's not as nice as I would expect it to be. I mean, in touch, but I haven't done any swatches. I don't do swatches for socks because I don't. Because the swatch is almost as big as the sock usually. So I just make a sock, and while I have enough of the cuff, I decide if that looks good or not. So and as I wear socks mostly in the winter to boot, like as a second layer, or I use it at home instead of slippers, well, I don't really care if it fits like really good or it's like so it's fine. I don't need swatches. Therefore, I'm really hopeful that when I wash it and block it, it's gonna be nicer. Although I'm not concentrated around it that much because, you know, it's foot, right? Feet aren't that sensible, so it's not an issue at all. So yeah, a very nice combination. But I must admit, first, this was my main color. I think I liked it more. So probably I'll make another pair just to, you know, I've got a lot of it left. So possibly I'd make another pair, or maybe I make a pair for my kids, or even one for my husband. He's got only one pair from me, so maybe that's a good idea. Like we'd have a not entirely but matchy socks. That would be nice. But his foot is huge, so not sure if that's enough. And I have only this one skein. So actually it was a hang. So we'll see. I still have decisions, but I really want to use it all because it's very pretty. I'm an autumn colors girl, even though I think that I look better in grays and I prefer wearing grays than browns. when it comes to yarn, I always choose like something that is grayish, earthish, greenish. That kind of stuff is my favorite. Yeah, so we'll understand the woman. That's the case. The one thing that I really want to show you around this sock that I didn't tell you about earlier is that that's an awesome thing. Usually when you're making the card and the round, you have this step, a jog, and you can try to make it less visible and stuff, but most case scenarios it's just visible and you have to deal with it. And with this particular pattern, there is no jog. Look at this. For you can see it here. For sizes large and I think extra small or small, it's a double line here. Which first when I was knitting it, I was like, oh shit, another mistake. Like, oh no. I got panicked because I realized that there's like it's so you can't see it, you don't see the jog, so you're like, oh, that's okay, everything is fine. And then at one stage when I was somewhere here, I was like, what the heck, what has happened here? And I got so panicked because that was like the 4th or 5th version of this sock, so I was like, oh my god, I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. I'll just decide. You know, I was thinking if I really want to finish this test, or if I'll just, I don't know, ask if I can pay for the pattern and not finish it at all because it's. Yeah, but then in Doctorate it's normal for some sizes, so watch out for it. When I look at it, I really like it. I don't mind it. I totally don't mind it. And for some of the sizes, I think for size M, for size XL, and for size S, you don't have this double lines. You have like, it looks like this. There's no jog. There's like continuous pattern, which is like amazing. Like amazing, really amazing. The heel is easy. It's just a heel with flap, and then the gusset. I want to show it to you once again better because it's also so a really nice pattern. I highly recommend it. I've been testing it in English and it was easy. There was no issues there, especially when Agnieszka changed the setup of the charts. Now it's really easy to use and I highly recommend it. And of course I'm leaving, I probably said that already, but I'm leaving the link in the description so you could check it out, and if you're happy with it, you can buy it. So this is project that is almost done, and it will be finished in like a day or two. And the last but not least, is something, it's another comedy of errors. I had 2 comedies within last month, and it was extremely frustrating, especially that I realized that there's a mistake when I finished the project. So I've been testing a color for Zaneteknits. It's a very, very beautiful color that I will definitely be wearing. I know that already. It's a color work, and 1, 2, 3. Look at this. Look at this. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? Yeah, that's the back. That's the shoulders, and here is the front. It's the same. So it was made twice. It took me a month. I finished it right before the deadline. It was the biggest. That's the biggest color work project I've ever made, knitted, ever. It wasn't easy. But actually, it helped me to get to know new techniques. The old sweaters I've made like 2 or 3 sweaters only. They were all raglan sweaters. So this shaping, this arm shaping that you have here, this is the first time I've ever made it. And I must admit, so it's arms and probably the neck shaping, right? I must admit I really enjoyed it, and it looks really, really nice, really pretty. I think I will want to use it one day for a sweater that I decide to make from scratch. I don't say that it's going to be my pattern because I don't have an ambition to be a designer, but I mean, I do have an ambition to make a sweater from my design, like from head. Just decide, know all the rules, decide the shaping, decide all the stuff, decide the yarn and so on and so forth, and just make it. But that's not yet, definitely not yet. So this is one thing, the shaping, and the other thing, the technique that was used here is called a back ladder jacquard. It's a very nice technique of used for jacquard when you have when there's a big amount of same color. So if you're using floats for stranded, and you're using floats on those big amounts of one colored spaces, it actually looks through often, especially when you have like a yarn that is light and then a dark one. It peeks through, even if you're doing it correctly. It's not perfect. So the solution for that is back ladder jacquard, which helps it to be less visible. And I've been using back ladder jacquard, for example, here for the whole thing, and you have it's just less visible. It's really nice. It's a very nice technique, and I enjoyed doing it, although I did make a couple of mistakes, because when you look closer you can see the holes, right? The holes are the places where I started. It's not actually, these aren't holes, it's places where brown yarn peeks through, and it's because I was pulling the yarn too tight, and also the same thing is at the bottom where you can see that the yarn puckers a bit, and that's because, well, it was my first time. I don't mind. Lesson learned. The next time I'll remember to do it better. But this, oh my gosh, this is my right side, sorry, wrong side porn. It's like, can you see this? It's so amazing. All those floats, because and here is back ladder jacquard. The yarn is dark, so I don't think you will see it. I'll try to show it to you. Yeah, I can't put a finger through it, obviously, so yeah, you can see it's a bit different. It's not like you have lines, but you have these. I do recommend, highly recommend this technique. You can check it out. Suzanne Bryan has a really nice tutorial on it. I'll link it below. I definitely recommend looking at it. It's a really nice technique. Yeah, and also there's a turtleneck. I hate turtlenecks. Seriously, I hate turtlenecks, but this one is really nice because it's not that, you know, really here. It's a bit lighter. It's a bit more relaxed. So I do like it. And I always wanted to have a nice color for winter, so I'm happy that I already have it. The only thing, some of you might have seen it already when you were looking at the design. I mean, at the color work. I kind of lost a bit of it. I didn't see it. Like here, this part. Look here, and look at the bottom. Yeah, I kind of lost a little bit of the pattern. I ate it a couple of rows, like 3 or 4 rows, and I didn't see it until the project was done. So I had 2 options, and thankfully Zanete is a wonderful person who is not torturing their testers, and yeah, I could frog or I could leave it, and Zanete agreed for me to leave it, and I will just treat it as my one-of-a-kind pattern. And also I'm trying to make a philosophy out of it that, you know, mistakes happen and we can live with it. That frogging is not always necessary, which is very tough for me as I'm a perfectionist. But it's a way, it's an exercise, right? It's an exercise. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. You can't even imagine my face when I saw it. I was crying. I was literally close to tears because it was a long project. It was a long project. Yeah. Regarding the yarn, I was. Sorry, a small break. So the yarn. I was using drops Puna here, 2 strands held together in 2 colors that, you know, you can see them here. It's 100% alpaca and it's really nice. I was doing the project on 4.5 mils and then ribbing on 4 millimeters. It's definitely, I was really worried that it's gonna be like thick and stiff because my intuition was to use like 5 millimeters for two strands held together, but I was using 4.5 and 4 because I had to meet the gauge. Well, it's a test project, right? So this is also important, and I did meet the gauge. But then when I blocked it, I washed it and I blocked it, it got really like nice, cozy, and it is quite thick. Oh, come on, it's jacquard, it's 2 layers, so it is thick, but it's that nice kind of thick that when it's, you know, the winter, it's like -20 or -15 and it's so cold and you know, no scarf helps. This is going to be amazing. I just can't wait to wear it. So let me present it to you. Can you see that turtleneck? It's so nice. It's cozy, but it's not, you know, like really stiff here. I really don't enjoy turtlenecks. So this is awesome. Nice, cozy. Now, like here, I'll just use a jacket, and I'm gonna be so warm, so warm. I really like it. I do think that I would enjoy a sweater like this. Oh, A sweater, that would be so nice. I might even make a sweater out of it. Maybe not out of this one, but I could make a new one with the full pattern this time. Okay, let me take it out. I think I meant take it down, not take it out. One technique that I didn't tell you about, that was steeked. Can you imagine? That was my first steeking project, and that was extremely stressful. And I was using the crochet method, but afterwards, I didn't use any additional way of helping this out. And that wasn't a good decision because some of the strands slipped. And look at this. Can you see that? That's terrible. Yeah, but I don't mind. I've somehow managed to, you know, figure out how to save the day, and I'm not proud of it in a way that it's done terribly, but it's my first stick project and I've made it and I've survived and I can use it and I can wear it, so this is amazing. Next time I will definitely use, I do like the crochet technique itself, so I will use it, but I'll look for, like, I will be more careful. I will maybe use more, I will use a yarn that's in contrasting colors, because I used the yarn that I was doing for the project, and that's a bad idea because I didn't know which of the yarn is, you know, the what is the word? You know, the aiding, the strand that you crocheted and it's helping you, and which ones are the ones that you should actually cut. And I think I've cut the crocheted yarn. So, well, I was brave enough to not to make any swatches, just go for it. And my first steeking was actually on a project that took me more than a month to finish. So. Yeah, I'm very happy with the result, and I really recommend the pattern. The pattern, generally Zaneta is, I can't say that I'm in her team because Zaneta doesn't have a team, but I have tested a couple of her projects and all of them are really well written and all the patterns are very clear. There are all the pictures or photos. No, actually she doesn't use photos, but oh, she does in her card, she does. So all her photos or all of her like images, all of her texts are very, very clear. She's extremely responsive to the testers regarding, like, when we say that, oh, I didn't understand this or I didn't understand that. I've never saw her saying, yeah, you're not right. I understand, it's clear. No, she's never said that. She's always like, okay, I'll reword it, because if you don't understand it, that someone else might not understand it as well. So this is amazing. This is amazing. I really like that kind of attitude in designers. I really appreciate that kind of attitude. So that's awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah. Okay, that's the last project I had for you today. We did it. That's the end of episode number 1 of Calm Knitting Vlog. Thank you very much for being with me. Thank you very much for your patience. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and you've found something good for you, something that you liked. And hopefully see you soon. Cheers!